I remember going to, get Gemma's death certificate on the Tuesday, so it's only, 3 days after she's gone, and dreading it, but walking into the St John Radcliffe Hospital in Oxford to get the certificates and sitting in the death registry office, and you're watching the last time I'd seen this happen was when I'm watching the woman in Wandsworth signing Ethan's birth certificate, and now you're watching a woman signing 10 copies of your wife's death certificate. And yet I felt this incredible peace. I felt it again on the Wednesday when we went to the funeral directors to put the funeral together, and our vicar David came with me, and he was just amazing. And again, I'm looking at a brochure. There's no easy way to say this. I'm looking at a coffin brochure for my wife, and yet I felt this incredible peace, this sense of calm that really in that place doing that I should never ever have had. And that's what I understood it to be. And I remember vividly, probably the most powerful thing that happened came on the day of her funeral, and I don't have a lot of memories of that day. It was very, very hazy, but I remember going to the crematorium later. So we had the celebrations, I called it, in the morning at Reading at our church, Greyfriars, and then we had I hate the word wake, but the thing afterwards, one of Gemma's favourite places in Sonning. Wake is just a rubbish word. And then we were the last slot back at Reading Crematorium in the afternoon. And so back we went with just a small group of family and friends. And I remember just the emotion of the day just hit me. And I remember collapsing to the gravel and just screaming. And when Gemma's hearse arrived, just shouting this kind of blood-curdling no that sort of echoed through the gloom that was descending because it was early December. And I remember just a group of friends just gathering around me and kind of pulling me back to my feet. And I remember, I think it was Carl Beach actually was praying from the back in his gruff voice, just that God, that you'd hold this man right now, you'd hold their family as we go through the next few minutes, and that your peace would descend on this place. We go into the room at the crematorium. It is everything you thought it would be: deeply depressing, gloomy, cold, horrible, just a horrible place. And as they bring Gemma's coffin in, it's feeling even more horrible. And then we play this song. It's a worship song, and it talks about you bring light in the darkness, you bring hope, you bring joy. And as this guy called Chris Sayburn, who I know from New Wine, who leads the worship at New Wine, sings, he's obviously not there, but the New Wine version plays out of the OK speakers. This incredible, tangible peace descended on that room, so much so that a friend of mine, his wife Nicola, doesn't really have much of a faith. She lost her brother to suicide 2 years ago. She is stood next to a guy who used to be our curate in Reading, now runs a church in Oxford, called Dan. I know Dan doesn't have a particularly good singing voice, but as people began to sing along, she says, I'm listening to this guy singing and he sounds angelic, and yet I know he can't sing. And she said, I felt a peace I've never ever felt before. And I felt it as well, so much so that as I left that room, because people were kind of going up to the coffin and touching it and stuff, I just said, look, guys, sorry to break crematorium decorum, but she's not here. She's in heaven. I'm off. And I just went, bye, Darl, and left with a smile on my face. Now, I'm not going to say everything after that was easy, because it was deeply, deeply difficult. But in that moment, in that most hopeless of places, this incredible peace descended that is even having an impact on people who wouldn't even say they've got a faith. That's the peace that passes all understanding. That is not a room where peace should have dwelt.